Good morning. So I have both my daughters with me. We have Alexia, and then to my right we have Demaya. Demaya is 10 and Alexia is 12. So I was speaking with my daughters this morning, and my spirit took me to a particular scripture in the Bible because it coincided with what I was speaking to my daughters about. A lot of times, as parents, we are telling our children not to do things, but we're not explaining in depth what it is. We're not understanding where they are. We're not being understanding with them with where they are in life, especially with us having experienced that before. And we're gonna do a little project right now. And I was reading to my children the verse in the Bible where it speaks on unclean spirits. And we all have them. No one is negated from that. So I don't like when us as parents are not being understanding with our children, and don't think for 1 second that just because they are children that they are not dealing with their own unclean spirits. They're not dealing with their own problems, their own issues, with them trying to navigate through life, navigate through who they are, experiment with what they like and what they don't like. And it's selfish of us as parents to feel like our children shouldn't do things just because we tell them that it's bad, or just because we tell them that, in the Bible, God doesn't like it. There are certain things that we're still battling with as adults that we know is not pleasing to God, but God knows that we're in the flesh. God knows our flesh is nothing but filthy rags, and it's not making excuses for behavior, but rather understanding the true battle of spiritual warfare. With that being said, in Matthew 12, verse 43 to 45, it's basically speaking on how an unclean spirit leaves from a person, walks around through dry and arid land looking for another house to enter, meaning another person to enter, and it doesn't find anyone. The unclean spirit doesn't find anyone to attach itself to. So that unclean spirit says, you know what? Forget this. I'm going to go back to Sarah. I'm going back to Blake. I'm going right back to Ashley, to Alicia, to Alexia, to Demaya, and you include your name. I'm going back to, say your name again. I'm going back to. So the unclean spirit operates in and out of that manner. And when that unclean spirit comes back, it sees that the house is clean. Dang. They don't watch everything they used to watch. They don't listen to everything they used to listen to. We used to talk like this. They not talking like this no more. They're not speaking perverted. They're not speaking with all this profanity. They're not speaking in lustful ways. They're not watching corn. They're not doing any of those things. Dang, if I dwell here, I'm not going to be strong enough to get this person to go back into what they used to do. So let me leave and find other unclean spirits that's even worse than I. Oh, I found you. This could be stealing. This could be perversion. You just name it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of these unclean spirits are coming back into a person. So now that's 8. That's 8 unclean spirits that have now dwelled within you. But it says that the unclean spirit enters in. How does it enter in? How? How does it enter in? If our house, meaning ourselves, if we're protecting our eye gates, if we're protecting our ear gates, if our house, if the windows are locked, if our eye gates are protected, ear gates protected, door, front door locked, back door locked, if everything is locked in your house and secured in your house, you're protecting yourself against the enemy. How then is that unclean spirit entering in? Is the question, right? So maybe it goes something like this. I wonder what little baby Draco doing right now. I'm bored. I don't have nothing to do. Well, I'm not going to do nothing with him. I'm just going to call him over here just so we could chill, not knowing that baby Draco got all these other unclean spirits attached to him. And that's one way it can enter in. What about for girls? What about for our young kids? What are some ways it could enter in then? Mommy, can this friend come over? Can I go over to this friend's house? Or maybe they're watching something on TV they shouldn't be watching, or listening to something in the music they shouldn't be listening to, or maybe they're trying to be curious, just being curious kids, and maybe your son kissed another boy, maybe your daughters kissed another girl, right? So let's put a pin in that. I had both my children, including myself, write down on this piece of paper certain entities, certain behaviors which are unclean spirits. We have written down things on this paper that we either used to do and no longer do, or still battle with. We wrote it down. I'm not exposing my children's things on here. If they want to tell you one of them, they can. That's their choice, their decision. But we're going to do a little project. So I'm going to put glue on the back of all of our demons that we're working on and battling within ourselves, right? All right. So we have Damaya's here. We have Alexia's here. And we have mine's here. Okay. So for Alexia, she can say, oh, I just want to experience kissing a girl. I know I shouldn't do it. Ooh, that girl is cute. So these two kiss. They're curious. They kiss, right? This is us as adults, right? I wonder what this person doing. I know I blocked them, but let me unblock them. Let me see what's going on with them, right? And the problem is that we're thinking on such an innocent level. We're thinking that everything is good because we think we have the power to control demons and entities that are coming in. And so you have two girls that are experiencing, two children, two young girls that are experiencing kissing one another, two young boys that are experiencing kissing one another, and then they decide that they no longer want to be with that person, or they no longer want to associate with that person, or they decide, you know what, homosexuality isn't for me, yet they're intricately attached to one another. So let's see if there are a lot of similarities they both have, and then there are some they don't have. Do you mind sharing one that you feel comfortable with that you all do not share in common? Lust. 12-year-old daughter speaking on lust. Don't think that our children don't battle the same things that we battle with as adults, right? So that's life. It should be understanding and mindful as well. So these two kissed, right? Not as sisters. I'm not speaking like that. You get what I'm saying. So Damaya is eventually going to fall under what? Lust. And why is that? Because the seed has already been planted. What was on Alexia is on Demaya. And Demaya is going to begin to wonder, why